Hi, this is Patrick Peltier reading Stant for Kids, Racism, Anti-Racism, and You, Chapter 2, Stolen Land, Stolen Lives, 1619 to 1688. In 1619, the first ship carrying enslaved African people arrived in the newly colonized America. America welcomed slavery with open arms and used it to build this new country. Years passed. More and more Europeans arrived, too, running away from haters of their own and seeking freedom and opportunities. Some of these new arrivals were missionaries, religious folks, who wanted to spread their religion, including Puritan ministers who followed strict religious rules. When they came to America, they set up churches and schools to teach their way of thinking that were better than anyone who wasn't a Puritan, and way better than Native American and African people. They taught those ideas in their churches and schools, which, along with Zurara's ideas and others, helped justify slavery for a long, long time, because it was tied to church and school, which are basically the bacon and eggs of the country, or maybe the bread and cheese. The meat and potatoes? You get the point. Americans acted like they were playing one of those video games where you have to build a world, except that's racist. Native Americans had already built a world. But a social network of farmers and missionaries forcibly took over this native world by taking over their land. And what were they doing on that land? Planting and harvesting tobacco. Tobacco is not a big plant, but it can bring in big money. Rich Europeans would pay top dollar for tobacco to smoke and sniff. But if tobacco was really going to bring in big money and become the natural resource used to power the country, then farmers would need more human resources to grow it. See where this is going? Slavery. But remember, America was full of church folk and dirt folk, and the new enslaved Africans would cause a bit of conflict between the two. For the planters, slavery meant they didn't have to pay people to work the fields, so labor by those who were enslaved made them lots of money. For the missionaries, slavery meant new souls to convert to their brand of Christianity. Basically, planters wanted to grow profits, while missionaries wanted to grow their church. No one cared what the enslaved Africans wanted, but I'm willing to bet they didn't want the religion of their enslavers. And they definitely didn't want to be enslaved. Some of the enslavers resisted the missionaries' pressure to convert enslaved Africans. They didn't care as much about saving souls as they cared about saving their crops and making more money. Many enslavers even worried that if enslaved people had the same religion as them, then they could no longer enslave them. So they made up racist excuses for why enslaved Africans couldn't be converted. Like that Africans were wild and inhuman, unworthy of love from anyone, even from God.